The ERi-TV news broadcast crew and I, Dalit Sahaya, are now ready for your daily news briefing at 10:30 local time. But first, let us catch up with the major headlines. President Isaias Afwerki returns home. Graduation of the 35th round of the National Service. Beijing slams Germany's new China strategy. And South Korea floods leave at least 20 dead and thousands forced to evacuate. On our local news, President Isaias and his delegation returned home in the mid-morning hours of yesterday after participating in the summit of leaders of the neighboring country of Sudan that was held in Cairo on 13th of July. We have a report, so please do stay tuned.
President Isaias and his delegation returned home in mid-morning hours yesterday after participating in the summit of leaders of the neighboring countries of Sudan that was held in Cairo on 13th of July. The summit, in which the leaders of Eritrea, Egypt, Chad, the Central African Republic, Libya, South Sudan and Ethiopia, as well as the chairman of the African Union Commission and Secretary General of the Arab League took part, concluded with the issuing of a communiqué. The communiqué, expressing deep concern regarding the ongoing military confrontations and the continuous deterioration of the security and humanitarian situations in Sudan, the leaders called on the parties to the conflict to de-escalate the situation and commit to an immediate and sustainable ceasefire to end the war, avoiding further loss of innocent civilian Sudanese lives and the destruction of property. Affirming full respect for the sovereignty, unity and territorial integrity of Sudan, the leaders agreed that the current conflict is an internal Sudanese affair and stressed the need for ending any external interferences in the crisis, including interferences protract the conflict and obstruct efforts to contain its escalation and reach an agreed settlement that will restore stability and security in the Sudan. Reiterating the importance of preserving the Sudanese state and its institutions and preventing the fragmentation of the country or descent into chaos that could lead to the spread of terrorism and organized crime and other serious impacts on the national security of neighboring states and overall regional stability. Stressing the utmost priority of formulating a comprehensive approach to addressing the current crisis and its humanitarian ramifications, including those internally displaced and the growing influx of refugees fleeing the conflict to neighboring states, a challenging situation that creates growing pressure on the resources of neighboring states, the leaders called on the international community and donor countries to shoulder their responsibility through upholding pledges made at the ministerial level pledging event to support the humanitarian response in Sudan and the region, attended by Sudan's neighboring states on June 19, 2023. Expressing grave concern regarding the deterioration of the humanitarian situation in Sudan and condemning the repeated attacks on civilians, healthcare facilities and public service outlets, the leaders also called on the international community to step up efforts to provide crucial humanitarian aid and to address urgent shortages in food and medical supplies in Sudan as a measure towards alleviating the serious hardships caused by the crisis on innocent civilians. Agreeing to facilitate the entry of humanitarian aid provided to Sudan through the territories of neighboring states in coordination with relevant international agencies and organizations, and to strongly promote the establishment of a safe passage for aid deliveries to the most affected and vulnerable areas. The leaders urged various Sudanese parties to provide the necessary protection for humanitarian assistance and personnel and to facilitate their mission in delivering assistance to those in need. Emphasizing the pressing need for a political solution to stop the ongoing conflict, the leaders called for an inclusive and comprehensive national dialogue between Sudan parties, prioritizing the aspirations and prosperity of the Sudanese people through the restoration of stability and security to the country. agreeing to form a ministerial mechanism comprised of foreign ministers of Sudan's neighboring states to coordinate common efforts to resolve the current conflict. The leaders agreed that the ministerial mechanism should hold its first meeting in N'Djamena and will be mandated to take the following measures: develop an action plan that includes practical steps towards stopping the fighting and reaching a comprehensive solution to the crisis through direct communication with various Sudanese parties in complementarity with the existing mechanisms, including the IGAD and AU. Discuss measures required to address the impact of the crisis on the future of Sudan's stability, unity and territorial integrity, as well as to protect and preserve Sudan's national institutions. The ministerial mechanism shall also discuss steps to contain the negative effects of the crisis on neighboring states, agree on a delivery mechanism to provide humanitarian aid and relief to the Sudanese people, and shall present its recommendations to the next Sudan's neighboring states summit.
Graduation ceremony was held at Sawa in the morning hours of today for students of the 35th round of the national service. The ceremony was conducted in the presence of President Isaias Afwerki, ministers, senior government and PFDJ officials, military commanders and other government officials, featuring colorful military parade as well as cultural and artistic performances. Colonel Dewasaigede, commander of the National Service Training Center, said that 49.8% of the members of the 35th round of the national service were females, and they have successfully completed the standard academic education and political and military training. President Isaias Afwerki congratulating the graduates and parents and thanking the teachers and the staff of the training center, and said that the graduation of 35th round makes it special because it is being carried out in the time in which we have foiled hostiles and being aggression against the country and are marching to enhance development and resilience with a rapidly changing neighborhood and the world. President Isaias also said that we are at an important stage in the National Service Program in terms of developing the resources in accordance with the improved programs introduced during 34th round of the National Service. Awards have been handed out to winners of various competitions and outstanding students. In its 16th commencement, Mainafhi College of Engineering and Technology graduated 424 students, including 146 females in degree and diploma programs today, 15 July. The graduates include 153 students in civil engineering, chemical engineering, computer and technology, electrical and electronics engineering, mining engineering, marine engineering, and mechanical engineering in degree programs, and 271 students in diploma programs in various fields of study. At the graduation ceremony, in which government and PFDJ officials, religious leaders and college community, parents and invited guests took part, Dr. Kahsai Nuguse, Dean of the college, said that graduates of the college are playing a due part in the nation-building process, and that more effort is being exerted to minimize dependency on extra-pirate lectures through providing scholarships to the nationals. On his part, representative of the graduates commending parents, lecturers and college community and expressed readiness to live up to the expectation of the government and the people that provided them with the educational opportunity. Since its establishment 2008, the College of Engineering and Technology has graduated 3,340 students. Training focusing on political and socio-economic issues were provided to 189 people on the government institutions and administrations in the southern region. The training that was organized by PFDJ office in the region included the role of concept of politics and organizational in Eritrean history, religion in terms of history and influence, psychological warfare, and the whole of the culture and heritage in nurturing identity, as well as national charter. Mr. Idris Hali, head of the political affairs at the PFDJ in the southern region, said that the objective of the training was to develop the overall capacity of employees with a view to enable them to play a due part in the implementation of the development programs. Noting that development strategy relies on organized, committed, and developed human capacity, Ms. Ameta Nuguse, secretary of PFDJ in the region, called on trainees to become role model and exemplary to fellow workers. The trainees, on their part, commending the opportunity provided and expressed readiness to apply the knowledge they have received in providing effective and timely service to the public. Dear viewers, we'll be back with the international news shortly. Just stay tuned. Welcome back. Berlin says it will scale down business with Beijing and attempt to diversify its trade partners. China has criticized Germany a new strategy on relations with People's Republic, labeling it counterproductive after Berlin declares that it would reduce the reliance on the Chinese economy. Asked about the strategy document at a press briefing on Friday, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Dewin suggested the new policy would only harm bilateral ties, saying Beijing prefers to see Berlin as a partner rather than a rival. With bilateral trade soaring to record 300 billion euros in 2022, China is currently Germany's largest trading partner. Despite stressing its concerns about China, Germany's new strategy also includes plans to boost engagement with Beijing and said it will continue to be an indispensable partner on issues ranging from climate change, food security, mitigation, and resolving international economic crisis. On our last news, at least 22 people have been killed by a deadly flooding in South Korea as the torrential rainfall continues to batter the central region. Heavy rain submerged roads, swept away cars, and distributed railways. Another 14 people were missing and thousands have been forced to evacuate their homes, officials said. Most of the casualties were reported from the northern Gyeongsang province, caused the landslides and mountainous area and destroyed homes. Entire houses were swept away whole in the most severely affected area, an emergency responder told the local media. Prime Minister Han Dong-soo asked the military to assist with the rescue efforts. Thousands of people have been affected by evacuation orders issued by various local governments. The number of the low-lying villages near the dam, as well as many of the roads connecting them, were said to have been submerged, leaving some residents trapped in their homes. While mainly factors contribute to flooding, scientists said warming atmosphere caused by climate change makes extreme rainfall more likely. It's warmer to become with the moisturized and the atmosphere can hold. Dear viewers, we have come to the end of tonight's news. Let's have a quick recap of the headlines. President Isaias Afwerki returns home. Graduation of 35th round of the national service. Beijing slams Germany new China strategy. South Korea floods leave at least 20 dead and thousands forced to evacuate. That's all with our local and international news. Our dear viewers, thanks for watching and good night.